Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Samantha. This is the Budget Mum UK. Today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can save £10,000 over the next 12 months for 2023. Regardless of your budget, regardless of your income, you can do this, and this is my plan, and I'm going to share it all with you right now. If you haven't already, grab yourself a nice brew, maybe light some candles, take some time out for you, start to focus, and we can see how and we'll do this together, we'll go over this journey for the next 12 months together and see how we can actually save £10,000. Now, I have said it doesn't matter what your income is. My income is around about £1,800 a month, and that's before all my bills come out. So when you think of it in that idea, if you think of it that way, it's not a great deal of money. So I'm going to share with you my breaking down. I'm going to share with you my process, my thoughts, my ideas, and how I'm going to do that going forward. Of course, it doesn't just stop with that £1,800 that I've got coming. I'm going to have to look at creative and ingenious ways to make sure that I have enough money to do that. And I'll talk to you about those as well. But if you think, do you know what, this sounds great, I'd love to be able to do that, but £10,000 might be just too much, why not go for £5,000 or even 2,500? The process and thoughts and the ideas are essentially the same. It's just you're doing it in smaller values, and you can still figure it out for yourself. There'll be tweaks and changes that you can make for yourself, because you know your life, you know your budget, you know how things are for you, and you can just sort of adapt it so that it fits for yourself. So I'm going to move the camera and show you down in a second, and just bear it in mind, you know, yeah, well, I can tweak or change this, but ultimately this is my plan, and I'm going to keep this journey going throughout on this YouTube channel to do this. So if you want to follow along, I'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button, go ahead, hit the thumbs up like icon, and hit the bell notification so you know every single time that I upload a video, because not only is it free, which is the best way to start our saving journey, it is also a fantastic community, and it is amazing, and it does so much for this channel, so I can keep making videos just like this one for you for free. Right, let's get stuck in and see how we're going to be doing that. So £10,000 is my goal to save as a big chunk of cash effectively for this year. Now, I've been doing this for just over a year, cash stuffing and saving and everything else, and I managed to save a bit in my emergency fund. I'm so close now to getting rid of all my debt, which means I can really start to focus on this. I have not got a massive income. In fact, I've got a really, really small income, but I think if you plan correctly, if you have a goal and you have a why and you have a focus, it's possible to do. Now, I'm also going to be doing this alongside a no spend or a very limited spend sort of year, and I will be doing a video on that and explain how I plan on going about doing that. But I'm quite confident, having looked back over through my previous year, where again, I've been on a very low wage, just myself, and I've managed to save quite a bit, and I've managed to get myself into a position where I'm almost debt free. This, I know I can do it. I feel confident that I can do it. And I just want to explain how it can be done. So when we look at this as a number, 10,000, it sounds like a lot. And it is a lot of money, because if I had £10,000 saved, I'd be absolutely ecstatic. It'd be a massive chunk towards either paying off my car or towards a house, or just having some bit of security, or for the children or for university, whatever it is. Now, at the moment, I'm in two minds about what my goal will be for, because I do want to save up for a house, but also I would love to go back to university, and it's around about £7,500 for 1 year. I'm going to see how this goes. I'm going to see how other things pan out for me this year in terms of work, and whether I then use this money for university, because I wanted to this time last year, and the course closed, the actual company itself closed, university, sorry. So that sort of decision was taken away from me, but I'm still coming back to it. It's not completely left me. So there's options, but I just want to make sure I've got this money, and then I can choose what to do for me, for best, and for my family. So when we look at this, as I said, it looks quite a big number, but what we've got to think about is that this is going to be saved over a period of 1 year, over 12 months. Just to start with, I'm going to do this £10,000 and I'm going to divide it by 12. Okay, so if we say 10,000 divided by 12, now becomes 800, and we'll call it £33 per month. And again, that sounds like a lot of money to save. My typical bringing home money is about 1,800 from my business, and then I've got 145 for child benefit, which is what I get from the government in the UK. So it's not a lot of money, as I keep saying this. I'm just trying to make it clear that it can be done regardless of your income. So even if we don't get £10,000, even if you're thinking, you know what, that is just not possible for me, even if you went for £5,000, and I'll show you how you can do that as well through this in a second. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this again, partition it if you like, into two separate areas. So if we do 833 divided by 2, which is 41650, we'll call it 417. I saw somebody do something similar previously, which is where I got one of my ideas from, and I already had this sort of in mind, but it's helped sort of give me a bit of guidance really on how else I can do it. Now this number here, I think I should be able to get from my wage. I think it's going to be difficult, it's going to be really tight, but if I do it alongside a no spend year, it's doable. Or at least £400, because normally once I've done all my calculations, I've got myself around about £180, £190 a week to cash stuff. So if I did that per week, call it 100, it'd leave me with around about £90 a week to cash stuff at the moment. Now I do need to revisit my own income and see how that's going to work out, because my job role and how it looks is changing again at the moment, but that's okay, and we'll look at that again in another video, and I'll talk to you about that with my 2023 sort of, setting my goals basically, and looking at how things are going to work out for us. So I'm going to assume this is going to come from my wage, and if I was just to do 417 divided by 4, because that's how I cash stuff, I like to do it every week, because my life is can be quite fraught at times, and things change all the time, especially when you've got children, and you don't know where you are one minute to the next. So it's quite useful for me to do it by week, and it gives me a bit of it just keeps me accountable effectively. So if I do that, it's £104.25 a week. I've then got a choice. I can either choose to cash stuff this money separately each week, or what I could do is take this out of my bank at the start of every month when I get paid, so it comes out of my direct debit, so it's already there. And if you're doing this, or you're doing something similar, you might find it easier to just have it set up as a direct debit, so it just comes straight out and it goes into a separate pot and it's not touched. Or you might prefer to do the cash stuffing method and keep it accruing separately. And then what I like to do, just so I've not got the cash always in the house, I'll put in a placeholder. I haven't decided yet. I do need to set up my sinking funds now, and that'll be something I'm going to consider when I do that. Next then, I've got to have a look at this bit. Now this bit is going to be interesting, because I've asked you guys what you want to see, and it'll be really nice to have you with me on the journey when I do these things. I've got different places where I can get this from. Basically, it's going to come out from all over the place. Now, at the moment, I'm averaging just anywhere really between £100 and £200 a month for YouTube. So I've decided that's going to come straight into there. Obviously, I've got to keep some to one side for tax. So let's say an average of 100, just to be on the safe side after tax, and that'll be YouTube. I get a various amount from Etsy as well, but more often than not, I'm being conservative. I can probably put 100 away from Etsy. And then I've got to consider my students at the moment. So if you didn't already know, I'm a part-time tutor as well as have my own little business in school, and that would be the equivalent of taking on one new student who came every week. Now, I cut them down because I was working full-time. Because effectively I can't do overtime because I'm a teacher and there's no overtime. You just do overtime, you don't get paid. So I always looked for ways where I could make extra cash, and that's when I took on students. So I could take on an extra student, and I have got inquiries in my inbox, and they're on a waiting list effectively. So I could do that and get away with that. Now that gives me 300, and then I need to consider where I can get like extra bits from. Now I'm just sort of going to spider this off a little bit more because I think this is harder to quantify effectively. So my plan, and obviously, you know, like I said, it might not work out, but I'm going to look at really decluttering this year. I've got so much stuff in this house from when I worked at schools or for when I've had my own businesses, and it needs decluttering, especially when, you know, you had Christmas and you're suddenly aware of everything that's in your home. So I'm going to have a big declutter and a resale. I'm going to be doing a lot more affiliate marketing. I've already been contacted by a few people. I've got a couple of interviews coming out in newspapers and magazines, and been asked to do some writing for columns and things. I'm hoping that's going to come from there. I'm not sure what you'd call that, to be honest. But my biggest one, which I'm feeling quite happy with, is my other extra hustles. Now, I've talked about a lot about my hustles in the past, where I've got books and things that I have that make me a little bit of money every month. I'm actually about to launch a second YouTube channel, which looks at all the different ways you can make extra money. And I'll link that down below because it should be out and ready to go before this video comes out. So do check that out. I would love it if you'd hit subscribe and join us on there. It'll be fantastic. And the first video should be out next week, fingers crossed, as long as everything goes to plan. And then that hopefully will make the missing £100. And this one will probably make quite a bit more than the missing £100, but until it gets sort of a bit of momentum, I don't want to rely on it. These ones, as I say, are a bit more variable. So that is really where this money is effectively going to be coming from. That is my plan, to make sure that I hit both these pockets. And when you start to break it down, like I said, it becomes a lot more manageable. And if it's too much, half it or aim for £2,500, whatever you think you can viably do. And yes, it's going to be strict and it's going to be restrictive, but ultimately, once it's done, isn't it? And how good would that feel to have that pocket of cash to do with whatever you need to? And even if you don't hit that goal, so what? You'll have made a good inroad to it. You'll have made a really good start, and you never know, you might need it halfway through the year, but whatever. You know, the things come up all the time, as I found out in 2022. You know, at least you've got that ball rolling. You've given yourself a little bit of something. Take time now, pour yourself a cup of tea, light a candle, take down your notes, look at your finances and see just what you can do. And that is it. Right, I'm going to go and finish my cup of tea. I've earned that. I'm feeling positive and excited about the future and getting on with this saving goal effectively. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you really, really soon. Bye.